What's going on, people? I'm like, got my phone held up by my soda. You know, people trying to figure out who I am, and then the ones that do know, they're like, well, how the fuck is she getting these 10 of Pentacles? Like, why is it her? Why is it not me? You know? And how did she pull this off or whatever, right? And it's one of things like this. See, people used to joke on me when I say God talked to me between my ears, right? But that was the key. That's when everything should have just shut the fuck down, and you should have said, touche, this bitch got it, let her go. You know what I'm saying? Tula, what is you doing? Tula! My dog, I can't explain her. Like, she's so independent, it's ridiculous. And while I'm doing this video with y'all, most of the time you'll hear my dog in the background because I be taking her outside, or she always be following behind me. She wants something, you know, and she be into something. Oh, you want some of my cold water? Let me see. Tula. Tula. Oh, shit. I done fucked up a little bit. Oh, damn. Okay, well, she went running somewhere. Anywho, the reason why I get it is because I was actually asleep. Knocked the fuck out. Sleep in my bed. No bullshit, no exaggeration. Like, it ain't even some tantalizing shit for the story. Nothing like that. It's just facts. Okay? And all they ass woke me up. You know, all the gods, all the angels, all the ancestors from everywhere woke me up out my sleep. Like, bitch, get the fuck up. These motherfuckers is coming here trying to kill you. I'm like, what? You know, I'm just trying to get up. You know what I'm saying? Like, literally wiping the coal out my eyes and looking around in my room like, yo, I don't see nobody. They be like, yo, she don't even know what the fuck going on. You know? That's a real thing. And then, the way you know God chose you, right? Because they doing this for God. They are talking to me for God. You get it? Telling God what they saying to me. And letting God know, like, yo, she don't see this shit coming. She don't know. You know what I'm saying? Then Mother and Father God come through. The biggest out of all the guys, and they talk to me. And then ancestors come through, and they talk to me. And they kept talking to me. Okay? So, you ain't got motherfuckers talking to you in your ear. You ain't getting what I got. Coming to me. It's for me. You know why it's for me? Because I did the job that nobody wanted to do. I did the work that nobody wanted to do. I did the work on a cellular level, a DNA level, an ancestor level, a heavenly level, and a hell level. I did the work on the God level. I did the work on a planetary level. Now let me explain that to you. But I'm going to just shorten it up the way God said to me, right? God said, when he was telling me about my destiny, right? And how it was coming up, you know, and that I'm already living. Understand that word. I'm already living my destiny on Jupiter, being in my mind. God damn, we do live on all the other planets. I knew that shit was real. And God was like, yeah. He said, but what we gonna do is, since these niggas is acting up, and these niggas was, and when I say these niggas, I'm talking about niggas that was a twin or a soul mate of mine, right? And they was like, since they fucking up, we gotta get you somebody different. You're gonna be along the tribe line, but it's somebody from your past. You know what I'm saying? You know, but don't worry. Y'all friends, y'all actually together on Jupiter. You know what I mean? So, but everybody from my past, I couldn't fuck with them no more. And you probably saying, like, damn, that's fucked up. Why would God put you in that position where you gotta just disown all the motherfuckers that you used to fuck with? I have to disown them energetically. Okay? Which is spiritually, which is the highest form of disowning anyone. Okay? Because you can't see their motives. You can't see their thoughts. You cannot understand how they truly feel about you in the inside. Okay? Unless you have that ability. Okay? And which I knew that I did and that I do. And I just was under the impression that God wasn't ready for me to utilize that yet. And then God told me that's not it. Because the bitch that said the hits to your head, we done figured out she done secretly been using you to talk to us. And we think we giving the downloads to you, but it's like we giving the downloads to you and her together. Like she me, or she's the dual nature of me. And the dual nature of me is I am a creator of worlds. She is a destroyer of worlds. All right. So I understood what it meant by worlds. All right. Everybody is a world. Everyone is a world. And it depends on your choices. Which world are you living in? Okay? And you figure out which world you're in by looking up the planet itself. And it's going to tell you about the planet. And if you know you have traits of this planet, not the traits that you see and that you want, and you want to pretend that you have, or you want to cultivate into these traits. No, the ones at your core. The ones that you don't tell other people that you know you got. The ones that probably gonna have you on some sneaky conniving ass shit. Alright. The traits that you hold back from folk because you thinking I might be judged for this type of shit right here. Like that. Them traits. Them deep ones. You know what I'm saying? That you think other people can't see, but they see it. And if they can't see it, I be seeing it. And that's why I be telling y'all. Been saying something like that. So, that's how I explain the world. And I'll give one more example. He was like, Jupiter's the biggest planet. I understood that. You know. But that also means everything big on Jupiter. Everything done big on Jupiter. You know what I'm saying? Everything good on Jupiter. You know what I mean? And I said, that means people on Jupiter pretty goddamn smart. That means they passed this bullshit here. Guys like, bingo. That's why we chose you. Okay? And then God said, we chose you for some more shit too. Because you're going to hit the mark in every area. That's the mark that a beast really means. Alright? You got the mark like if you got that shit that's fucked up. Like the package. Or you got the mark like you hitting the mark. Like if it was some form of a test. And either you hit that or you exceeded it. And it doesn't matter. You didn't go under it. You hit it. Okay? And so I realized as they talked to me, oh, I hit it on a God level. Good. They're like, bingo. You got it because we talking to you. You got it. You know what I'm saying? He said, whatever you don't got. Because they didn't let you exercise your gifts. Because they didn't put you in no magic school. Because they ain't tell you about the hidden those secret societies and put you in it so you can help these motherfuckers balance this dark and this light and this out and shit. Because they kept you in the dark. We're going to put you in the light. We'll give you all the light. And they didn't just give it to me like I didn't earn it. They gave it to me. Nope. I'm going to put it in there. Not for you to lick out of mine, lady. My little ashes went in there a little bit. But they gave it to me at the time they were supposed to give it to me because at that time, I earned it all. That's the thing. You earn all of your shit before you even get your shit. And depending on how big your mind is, it takes a little bit longer for your shit to manifest. Okay? But they also saw too, whether I was going to give up along the way, whether I was going to falter on the work, whether I was going to complete the work, finish the work, and satisfy the outcome to their desire. Not mine, theirs. Because they did see there was a time that I was going to give up. That was the satisfaction to my desire. Okay? Alright? And then they saw. They looked further down in the trajectory of things for me in my timeline. They said, okay, now you're going to meet it. You're going to do it. We see it. That's why we're all here. And we're going to help you. You know. Because there is a way to call back all your knowledge. And there is a way to actually be able to see your knowledge and to apply all of it in real time. Okay? But people did not want me to do that. And I had to realize the reasons why. Because it will change the trajectory of their world. You know, how they see things, how they have things going on. And some people just don't like change at all. But when I say to you, and I'm a human, I'm in this vessel. When I say to you, God is talking to me between my ears, and you never heard me say that, meaning my family's heard me say that. Other friends, you know, associates, whatever, co-workers, whatever, they have heard me say that. But I'm saying, if you've never heard from me or seen me a day in your life, and I come online, and this is what I'm talking, this is what I'm kicking. Okay? And I'm kicking it strong every day. It seems like I ain't getting no sleep. I'm in it to win it every motherfucking day. I sleep with the shit on all the fucking time. Like, I'm putting in the work. You don't think that means something. You don't see that as some form of alarm should be going off, like maybe I should take her seriously. Because, you know, when we look at the algorithms of platforms, she's never had one. And then if I did, I wasn't posting on them at all. And I realized afterwards people had pictures of me and they was begging motherfuckers for money and shit, and motherfuckers was giving it to them. I won't get the goddamn money. you know. And then God had me realize, there's a lot of shit not getting money for. And my reply back was, I know, you know. I said, but I've asked them, I talked to folk, I've expressed what I was gonna do, and I saw things start going in the opposite direction of what I wanted, and I saw people changing for the worse, and I knew at some point, or in a lot of points, that the remedy for stuff was to beat their ass. I literally, every time, I was like, oh, this motherfucker need a good ass whooping. I'm talking about with my motherfucking fist. Like, this motherfucker need it. Like, to get knocked the fuck out. Right now. And I'm just going to elaborate a little bit when I say that. Sometimes you can knock a motherfucker out and you can feel guilty. But then there are times you knock a motherfucker out and you feel fresher than a million goddamn bucks. Because you know they deserved it. You know you did the right thing. You know you stood 10 toes in your shit. You know that you was, there for them. Right hand man or woman. You was there. You ain't do no foul fuck shit to them. Everything in you feel great. It's deserving. Okay? I would feel that way. Every single time. I haven't cried over hitting a person in the face since I was like 5 or 12 or some shit like that. I started putting motherfuckers in their goddamn place in my brain. I didn't care if they was older than me. After about 12 years old. I don't care how big he is. I don't care who you are to me. You's a motherfucking liar. You's a goddamn devil, okay? And you ain't taking shit from me, devil. Meaning, I'm going off topic a little bit. But meaning this. I don't know if you're a stealer or a pussy, right? But what I do know is I'm 4'11", and at the time, I'm 98 pounds. And I got a nice size rack on me. Here and there. I look good on the eyes, too. And I was getting hit on 5, 10, sometimes 15 times a day. And I ain't had no stink attitude, but I'd just be like, no thank you. Well, I'll talk to you. I'll call you. And shit, I can't call you. I can't call that many motherfucking people. I think I tried one time about with 5 folk. Couldn't do it because I can't keep up with their names and none of that shit. And that's when I knew I don't like games. Right? No. So, I'm getting back on subject. But God knows. You know what I'm saying? They're talking to you. They're guiding you. All right? You're getting the visions. You're getting the downloads. You're seeing the changes in the universe. You're seeing even your words manifest through other people. And you're seeing your vision come to life. And plus, I already got the okay. It was like, this shit, you're going to do it. And it was like all confidence, but it was more so assurance. Okay? It's kind of like what they talk about, an insurance policy, in the dual nature of the world, people want assurance that they will be all right and taken care of when their loved one passes away. You need assurance while you're living too. Not just when you're distant from someone, right? Like if you used to having your best friend, your right hand, right man, girl, you know what I'm saying? And they keep you in line and shit. Y'all keep each other like da 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 da. Eventually, you want to break off, right? You want to do your own thing. And so you're not going to necessarily be right hand, like all the time. you know. And then sometimes that person got to kick you in the little tail to kind of get you back on track. That's that kind of assurance I'm talking about. So that's the kind of assurance that God kind of gave me. It was like, listen, if you think you're going to fall to this shit, you're not. You know, not only are you going to do it, but we're not going to let you fail. We're not going to let you fall. We're not going to let anything happen to you. Because what everyone does not want to get or comprehend or understand or resonate with or cultivate into their body is I was not the only one tired of the fuck shit. They were beyond tired. They were beyond frustrated. They were beyond change. They were beyond whooping your ass. They were beyond even throwing your ass into the motherfucking abyss. It's one of those things where, and I promise you I'm gonna come up with the right word. Because I'm gonna invent a motherfucking word for this shit right here that I can't get a niche on. But it's something on a soul level. It's so deep. It's so deep that you say to yourself, I'm bypassing all the fuck shit. Let's move forward past all the fuck shit. And let's fix it. Just fix it. Not just fix it like, fix it, Jesus. You know, not like that. You know, people will say it, but they don't do it. Or they put it in Jesus' hands to fix it. And Jesus would say, I fix my own shit, bitch. Fix your shit, motherfucker. Okay? But this is where I understood I was just like them. I was a God within my own right, just like them. I went through all the terrain to become a God being in physical reality. And I even surpassed what they thought we could do. And I'm not just really tooting my horn like I think I'm all that. No. It just got to a point where I was like, I'm not dealing like this anymore. I'm not tolerating this anymore. I am not going to keep repeatedly fixing this. I'm not going to keep repeatedly taking this. I'm just not. I don't care who you are. I'm not. You know. And if you value me, right, and you don't want me to walk away, why are you doing things for me to walk away? Because I'm definitely walking. Because I don't know the person that you thought you knew. Because she's always been a walker. Bye-bye. So they had to put other people infused in my energy to muck that shit up. Because I've always been like that. Bye. Bye-bye. I understand. Bye-bye. You know, I begged 2 folk in my life to stay. Other than that, bye-bye. And I realized the mistakes I made when I did that. I said, no. No. What I'm trying to say is, it's time for others to do the same thing. It's like you can't keep walking past things and not wanting to fix it. You can't keep looking past other people's fuck up and not addressing it. You can't just think like, I can do all this fucked up shit and I'll never have to pay consequences for it. You can't be so in your own way to think that you won't be punished for shit that you do. You know, that's La La Land. And I don't live in La La Land. I don't get the opportunity to live in La La Land. You know. And the other reason why I get the shit, and the reason why nobody can copy my path, and the reason why my path is so damn unique. Well, thank you, Tulip. Her big ass knocked my phone down. Also, she could reposition her ass in a better place. But I put myself in the right position because of my thinking. If you're gonna fix anything, it has to be fixed on a spiritual level first. And it don't matter what you do on a physical level. You'll just keep getting met with it if you don't fix it on a spiritual level first. You know. And then you have to stand on business in your decision behind that. That's the only physical thing they need to see. Everyone has to take ownership, okay? And what people were doing were they were trying to circumvent taking ownership of their fucked up shit. It's kind of like you got some folk, they want to take credit and ownership for accomplishments, but no, none of that for the fuck ups. You know what I'm saying? That's like a motherfucker saying, I ain't key your car. You know what I'm saying? I ain't do it. But you the only one that's been known to do some shit like that. Or that got that kind of shit in your hand right at the moment, you know. It's like you caught red-handed, but you still had a pinky blinders on, pretending like, nah, you ain't talking about me. Just in heavy denial. Okay? Heavy denial. I understood that comes from trauma. I understood that comes from like heavy PTSD. You know? And I also understood people like to create that. And it's like therapeutic for them. Just to create destruction. That's what made me look deeper. And God was like, now you get into some God problems. Made me look deeper and see who they are. Celestial wise. Like, oh shit, he's the deluge. Or oh shit, he's Lucifer. Or oh shit, she's the abyss. Or oh shit, she's the primary. She's the what's the word? The madam succubus. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh shit. Man. And then it clicked in my brain. Oh boy. That's why they said we were cursed. Oh, that's why they thought we was the devil. Oh my God. That's why they wanted to take us through all this shit and just treat us like fucked up motherfuckers. Even though the fucked up motherfuckers was right there. The fucked up motherfuckers ain't realized, though, how fucked up they was. The fucked up motherfuckers didn't realize how they was. Well, they did. They realized they was projecting their fucked upness all over us. You know. And this is how I want to tie this in. This is a God thing. I said this to someone, or a couple of people. And I'm going to say it to the world. Now, there is a video, and it's in a book, but it talks about God. First God. Alright? First God, Son God, right? And they say all the gods reverenced him. Okay? And you know, they see him. He going to work every day. Sun up, sundown. Y'all know what he doing. Slaying the fucking dragon or the demon or whatever the fuck that shit at night and making the sunrise during the day. You know, but he's in a physical vessel making this happen. And you can just picture the animation. But make sure in your mind the animation is real. Okay? Because at that time, the animation was real. Because at that time, magic was spirit. Okay? Because it's really not magic. It's really spirit. Okay? So, you know, God actually demoted himself by mistake. And this is my interpretation. Okay? And you're going to say, what do you mean? They said once God saw fear, he did not know what to do. And because he did not know what to do, it scared him. And he had never, ever been scared a day in his life. And if we are talking about the beginning of time, or in the beginning gods, won't they live for like 36,000 years? And if we were thinking about 365 days, that motherfucker was never scared. Never scared. And so I read on, because I'm trying to figure out, well, what put God in fear? You know? But it was the act of, like, fear itself. Like, presenting itself, you know, in its frantic form, in its deluded form, in its delusional behavior, in its breakdown of psychosis, in a chaotic way, you know. And if God is a master of things, and God said, I understand chaos, but I don't understand chaotic chaos. It could be like that slight variation. And because spirit is magic, right? And God has a thought. Thoughts produce actions, basically. Because choices and will, right? But when you're already the supreme of the highest of the high, it's going to produce like that. And that second of doubt, they felt it, all the other gods. And they were like, what is that? Where's that coming from? Huh? Who has that? And they're looking at the other gods because they're lower on the level of the gods. And they find out it's Ra. Oh my God. Like, what's going on, dude? Like, what's up? And he's like, I don't know. Do you understand that? It's a feeling that came across. He did not understand. And I don't know if you can feel the way that I said that, but when you come across something that you don't understand and you live to understand, because they are masters at everything. They are gods, right? This is something that they did not master. This was something that was not grown from trees or cultivated in a lab. Okay? So it wasn't natural. And it wasn't man-made. It was manufactured. However, through a vessel. So it's kind of like seeing a vessel in real time. Break the fuck down. Break down, right? And I want you to look at breakdown differently. Okay? Look at it as a system shutdown. Your heart, your lungs, your blood, your extremities, your anything. It's a breakdown. And it's a breakdown inside. But they understand your inside spiritually and physically. The anatomy has already been done. Medicine has already been mapped out. And every cure has been, it's here for everything. Like another book I read, there's no such thing as coincidence, and we have solved every problem here, so we are going to the next planet to do the same thing. Okay? But that feeling that came over like, I don't know, scared him because it hit deep. It was really like no idea. You know what this no idea is? Death. With no rebirth. Just death. Okay? I'm not saying God had his death. I'm saying God watched death happen to another. But it was of a diabolical, chaotic nature that it surpassed all his level of understanding to come forth with an answer to solve this or this type of death, because they all were supposed to live and not die, right? And guess what? Guess what happens? God goes on a journey. He has no choice but to. He has to figure it out. Okay? That's a descent. So, that's still like a form of death. He's changing his rank in his mind, in his body, in his intuition. It's everything. Because he doesn't want to be left with not knowing. Because when everyone comes to him, he likes that. No one's going to come to him if he doesn't know. You know? No one's going to praise his name if he doesn't know. No one's going to reverence him if he doesn't know. No one's going to continue to honor him if he doesn't know. You know, either he will be reduced by default or reduced because he doesn't know. You get it? Essentially, it's going to lead to another death. You know, a descent of respect. you know, because he has to figure it out. Now, he could have chose other people to like tackle it and figure it out and not make a big deal about it. But this is the thing. It didn't say it happened a lot of times. It said it happened like one time. Like, they saying like once it presented itself, you know, he's watching, but they're doing different things and nothing's working. All right? And you know what I figured out? You know when that seed's planted in the ground and it grows? I said God must be used to cultivating, molding, and shaping the lives of others. He's used to doing that. He's used to guiding them and showing them and putting them on their right path. Okay? I said this must have been a person that decided to go a different path. You know? And it puzzled him. And it puzzled him in a way where it was unfathomable. And I might have screwed that word up. But that's the word. Meaning, your way is totally different than my way. And your way looks and seems chaotic to me. And then that person can say, no, my way is better, and my way is this, and my way can do this, and my way can do that, and my way. And he's like, no, wait a minute. He's got too many my's in there. You know, I don't hear me at all. I don't hear your mother at all. I don't hear your other sisters, your brothers. I don't hear nobody. I just hear me. You know? And sometimes you got to break down in the vessel because of that. And then sometimes you can have a break up in a vessel because of that. But it's two different ends of the spectrum. And they're not going to see eye to eye when they're separated like that. They're not going to join in the middle if they can't think straight. It's kind of like the puzzle. It's square in a triangle. It's not working like that. You know? But the fear of not knowing how something can turn out, or how something would be, or how something can change so fast, and you're used to being a certain way for a long time, and you know you have to go through an adjustment whether you want to or not, and you have to take that adjustment in. It's going to take time if you've been living 36,000 years and your shit's been working. You know, it's that. That's one part on the God part. On a human standpoint, what they say in reference to that, our bodies are supposed to be healthy. Health is wealth. So, let's say you went to war and someone fought you and you lost an arm or a leg, or you got shot close to the heart, or whatever part of your body was fucked up and it needed some mending. All right. That's not you doing that to yourself. That's you taking that, you know, the fight for the greater good. War. You know what I'm saying? Problem comes in. Fear sets in. When you do it to yourself. That's what puzzled God about humans. So you're deliberately fucking yourself to death? You want to do all that sexing? You're deliberately eating yourself to death? Because you just can't control yourself? The food ain't going nowhere. You're deliberately drinking yourself to death? Like, everything you're doing, you consciously know that you're doing it? You consciously know what it's doing to your body? you consciously know the disruption you're like cultivating in here. And we did all this work to figure out your insides so you won't self-destruct, but yet you're doing the exact opposite, self-destructing on purpose. What the fuck? What the fuck did I do 36,000 years of work for? What the fuck is this shit? Who programmed this in these motherfuckers? What the hell? You supposed to strive to be like me, a god. The fuck is wrong with you? How can you do that if you can't live? How can you do that if you purposely sabotage your life and other motherfuckers' lives? How can you do that when you take a sworn oath to be better? That's what growth is. Growth ain't sitting on your ass, just doing the same motherfucking shit every goddamn day. It's like God can say, I see. You've graduated from that, grasshopper. Now, let's move on to something new. Alright? That's what's supposed to happen. Alright? When you don't want to. And you don't say you don't want to. But it displays in your actions that you don't want to. And then it starts manifesting into health problems you don't want to. Even God has figured out it's a you thing, it's a family thing, it's a work thing, it's a friend thing, it's a husband-wife thing. They figured out to that level too. And it could be like, God could be like, oh, I see why you're drinking. You don't want to deal with your wife. And God's like, you got to deal with her. She's your wife. Even if you divorce her tomorrow, you're going to pass the bitch on the street. You got to deal with her. So why don't you learn how to deal with her the right way? So you can live, passing her across the street. Because you still have to have some decency and respect for each other. You took an oath. Just basic level respect. Instead of you wanting to shoot each other like it's a knockout, drag out fight. You still want to, that's energy. That's why God was confused. That's why God was in fear. Hey, Dad.
Hey.
He understood all the energy. It's negative. And it's like it's going everywhere else. Not to the right stuff. Not at all. And it's like, why? Why would you purposely want to do that? And then you decide to do it on purpose. That's the part where they're tripping. Because nobody in their right mind would do it on purpose. That put them in fear. You got to remove that. Okay? Okay. I'm going to go. Bye-bye. Dad got me and two up out here. She run through the backyard.